Hello and welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something. Have you ever stayed completely silent in an English class, even when you knew the answer? Have you ever avoided speaking in front of someone because you were afraid they might laugh at your English? I know that fear very well because I used to live with it. I used to avoid conversations, avoid presentations, even avoid opportunities, simply because I was terrified of making mistakes in English. But here's the truth. That fear was holding me back more than my grammar mistakes ever could. And once I learned how to overcome it, my English speaking improved faster than I ever imagined. In today's video, I'm going to share my full story. How I stopped being afraid to speak English, what exact steps I took to build confidence, and how you can use the same strategies in your own learning journey. Stay with me until the end, because what I'll share is not just about speaking English. It's about transforming the way you see yourself as a learner. Section 1. Understanding the fear. Before I could overcome my fear, I had to understand it. Why was I so afraid? For me, there were three main reasons. Fear of mistakes. I believed that every time I made a mistake, people would judge me. Fear of judgment. I worried that people would laugh at my accent or think I wasn't smart enough. Fear of the unknown. I didn't know how to respond if someone spoke too fast or used words I didn't understand. This fear was powerful. Even though I studied grammar, read books, and understood English when I heard it, my tongue froze when it was my turn to speak. If you've ever felt this, know this, you're not alone. Almost every English learner goes through this stage. But the good news is it can be overcome. Section 2. The turning point. The turning point came when I realized something simple but life-changing. Nobody cares as much as you think. One day, I had to speak English during a group discussion. I made several mistakes. My grammar was broken, my accent was strong, and I felt embarrassed. But here's what shocked me. The people I was speaking to didn't laugh. They didn't criticize. They just continued the conversation. That moment opened my eyes. Most people are not listening to you to find mistakes. They're listening to understand your message. Once I realized this, I decided to take small but consistent steps to face my fear instead of avoiding it. Section 3. Step 1. Changing my mindset. The first step was changing how I thought about mistakes. Instead of seeing mistakes as proof of failure, I started to see them as signs of progress. Each mistake meant I was trying. Each attempt meant I was learning. Here's a powerful mindset shift I adopted. A baby doesn't learn to walk without falling. A child doesn't learn to ride a bike without wobbling. And no one learns to speak a new language without making mistakes. This new perspective gave me permission to try, even if it wasn't perfect. I also started to remind myself that speaking English was not about showing how perfect I was. It was about connecting with people, sharing ideas, and expressing myself. Section 4. Step 2. Starting small. Once I changed my mindset, I needed practice. But practice doesn't mean jumping straight into giving a speech in front of 100 people. That would only increase fear. So I started small, very small. At first, I practiced speaking English alone in my room. I described what I was doing. I am making tea. I am opening the window. Then, I recorded my voice and listened back. This helped me get used to the sound of my own English. Next, I practiced with close friends who I trusted, people who wouldn't judge me. These small steps built my confidence gradually. Each time I spoke, the fear became smaller. Section 5. Step 3. Daily speaking habits. To overcome fear, I needed consistency. So I built daily speaking habits. Here are 3 habits that worked wonders for me. Mirror speaking. I stood in front of a mirror and spoke about anything. My plans, my day, or my dreams. Seeing myself speak gave me confidence. Shadowing. I listened to short clips of native speakers and repeated their words immediately. This not only improved my pronunciation but also reduced hesitation. Question of the day. Each morning, I asked myself one question in English: what will I do today? Or what did I learn yesterday? Then I answered out loud. These small daily practices trained my mouth to move naturally in English. Section 6, Step 4. Facing real conversations. At some point, I knew I had to step into real conversations. This was the scariest part. I began online. I joined English-speaking groups where people practiced together. At first, I only said a few sentences. My heart raced, my hands shook, but I did it. Then, I started talking to strangers in simple situations, ordering food in English, asking for directions, chatting briefly with tourists. Every conversation gave me more courage. Each time I survived the fear, I realized that wasn't so bad. Slowly, I built a track record of successful conversations. Section 7, Step 5. Shifting focus from me to the message. Another breakthrough was shifting my focus. At first, I was always thinking about myself. Am I making mistakes? Do I sound strange? What do they think of me? But then I asked, what if I focus on the message instead? What if I focus on the person I'm speaking to? Once I shifted my attention outward, my fear reduced. I realized the goal of speaking English is not to impress others, it's to communicate. Even if I made mistakes, if the other person understood me, I had succeeded. Section 8, Step 6. Building confidence through preparation. One of the biggest fears I had was not knowing what to say. So I prepared. For example, I memorized common phrases for greetings, introductions, and small talk. I prepared answers to common questions like, where are you from? Or what do you do? I practiced storytelling with simple structures: beginning, middle, end. When I had these tools ready, I felt more confident. Preparation gave me a safety net. Section 9, Lessons I learned from the journey. Looking back, I learned several important lessons. Fear doesn't disappear overnight. It shrinks each time you take action. Perfection is not the goal. Communication is the goal. Confidence grows through repetition. The more you speak, the easier it becomes. Support matters. Practicing with encouraging people makes a huge difference. Most importantly, I learned that courage is not the absence of fear. It's speaking despite the fear. Section 10, How you can do the same. Now let me give you a step-by-step guide you can follow if you want to stop being afraid to speak English. Adopt the right mindset. Accept mistakes as part of learning. Start small. Speak to yourself, then with a friend, before strangers. Practice daily. Use mirror speaking, shadowing, or simple questions. Face real conversations. Begin with short, low-pressure interactions. Shift focus. Concentrate on your message, not your mistakes. Prepare common phrases. Be ready for everyday conversations. Celebrate progress. Each step forward is a victory. Follow this path and slowly but surely your fear will fade. Section 11, My life after overcoming fear. So what happened after I stopped being afraid? My world expanded. I started making friends from different countries. I joined discussions with confidence. I even gave presentations in English, something I never imagined possible before. Speaking English stopped being a source of anxiety and became a source of joy. I discovered that language is not just grammar and vocabulary. It's connection, culture, and opportunity. Conclusion. So that's my story. How I stopped being afraid to speak English. It wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight. But by changing my mindset, starting small, building habits, and facing real conversations, I transformed fear into confidence. and you can do it too. Remember, your mistakes don't define you. Your fear doesn't define you. What defines you is your courage to keep trying, to keep speaking, and to keep growing. If this video inspired you, please give it a like, share it with someone who struggles with the same fear, and subscribe to the channel for more practical English learning guides. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.